it's Dragon Maid! Where's Laundry Dragon at? Hi, Lamby here. With everyone playing Fiendsmith, Blue Eyes, and Kashtira these days, I figured that these mighty contenders would show up in the World Championship qualifiers. Now, I've never reached level 20 in past qualifiers before, but this time I was like, hey, why not? How bad could it really be? But I had to play this smart. I had to pick a deck that could hold out against what was on the ladder. So which deck would that be? Dogmatika! Why not rip my opponent's extra deck monsters out before they could even come out? So I built my deck to the best that I could, using a small bestial package and a whole lot of hand traps, and here's how it went. Alright, duel number 1. My opponent's going first and I opened no hand traps. But hey, at least I drew some solid starters. I just need to play past their board. Okay. Alrighty, it's my turn now. I draw! I'll start by discarding Bestial Rebellion so I can search for a Bestial. Okay, that's fine. I've already got Dogmatika Matrix, so I'll summon Ecclesia! And I'm gonna use her effect to grab Fleur-de-Lis. Oh, alrighty! I'll activate Dogmatika Matrix. This card lets me grab... the dear servant? Well, good game, I guess. Alrighty, duel number 2, and this time I get to go first. I could summon White Knight of Dogmatika, but she would shut off my little Charmy. I have a Bestial, so maybe I can survive a turn. Yo, it's Dragon Maid! Where's Laundry Dragon at? Why? That's not Dragon Maid. Oh, it's over. Alrighty, duel number 3, and I'm going first. So I start with my typical Dogmatika opener that uses the Gen and Ken package. So Gen, the Diamond Tiger, brings out Ken the Warrior Dragon, and Ken lets me draw some cards. Ken links into Almirage, and Almirage links into Secure Gardna. But because Gen activated his effect on my opponent's field, I could use triple Tactics Talent. You think you can get away? Go, Call by the Grave! Woohoo! I won! Alright, duel number 4, and this time my opponent's going first. I only have Ash Blossom for an interruption, so I have to make this count. Now, if there's one thing I learned about Kashtira, is that you Ash the Kashtira Theosis, and then pray that they don't have any follow-up. Not on my wall, go Ash Blossom! Woohoo! Now hopefully they don't have anything else. Well, this is unfortunate. I draw! Dogmatika really struggles against banishment floodgates, so I know that if I had any chance of winning, I had to get rid of a Rise Heart. The Bestial and Call by the Grave are pretty useless here, and my only play is to summon Gen the Diamond Tiger, and hope that a Rise Heart doesn't banish him. Please don't banish him. Nice! They didn't banish Gen! Even though I drew triple Tactics Thrust, I still needed to be careful here. The Dear Servant and Dogmatika Punishment are both useless on their banishment floodgates, and evenly matched would still leave a Rise Heart on the field. So my best choice was triple Tactics Talent. Go! Triple Tactics Talent! Now here's where I misplayed. So my plan was that by using talents, my opponent makes a Rise Heart banish something, and then I take control of a Rise Heart to banish something also. But I guess I'm missing something here, because that didn't work! Alrighty, duel number 5, and my opponent's going first. Yo, they got a Maximus! It was really awesome to see a fellow Dogmatika player. There are different variants of Dogmatika, and it looks like the one my opponent was playing used a small Shadal package. Hey, I needed that! Well, okay. Now it's my turn. I draw! Here's where I started to make some misplays. Something I should have done was activate Molcharmi's effect. Mainly because I knew that my opponent was going to use Shadal Schism to summon El Shadal Winda. My other misplay was summoning Gen the Diamond Tiger instead of summoning Ecclesia, since my opponent Dogmatika Punishment can destroy Gen before his effect goes off. Also, even if Gen's effect does go off, my opponent could bring out Winda to stop any further summons, which is what happens. No, Ken! My only other play at this point was to just use Lubellion to grab a Bestial. I also needed to crash my Gen so that my Molcharmi could use its effect next turn at least. Luckily, Fleur-de-Lis swings first, so that lets me summon my Bestial Jerusalem to stop the rest of the attacks. So at the very least, I didn't take too much damage this turn. It's my turn. I draw! I really need to get rid of Winda in order for me to make a comeback. It's a good thing I still have Jerusalem from the last turn standing, so I can either force my opponent to destroy Jerusalem with their Dogmatika Punishment, or let Winda get destroyed by Jerusalem in battle. And even if Jerusalem did get destroyed by Punishment, his floating effect would send Winda to the grave. Go Jerusalem! Attack Winda! Now that Winda was out of the way, I knew that I needed to establish some kind of board since I wasn't going to win this turn for sure. Come on out, Lubellion! I knew that my opponent still had Dogmatika Punishment, so summoning Gen wouldn't be ideal. It's time to bring out Ecclesia. Go, Ecclesia! Things are starting to look good for me as I'm able to draw a card from Branded Regained and send some cards to the grave using Maximus. My opponent could have interrupted Maximus, but I guess they also wanted to send cards from their extra deck to the grave. I decided to force my opponent's Dogmatika Punishment, though this causes my Branded Regain to get destroyed. I figured that it's better to have them use Punishment now, so that it doesn't interrupt me later. So something that I needed to be careful of now is that my Ecclesia was in attack mode, and I needed to get her off the field to protect my life points. Go Cartesia! I fusion summon Granguinol, the Dusk Dragon! Now that my Ecclesia is off the field, I feel a bit safer with all my monsters in defense mode. Even if they did get destroyed this turn, I still would have some follow-up for the next turn. I just had to survive. No! Albazoa! Now it's my turn. I draw! Whoa! Harpy's Feather Duster! Honestly, Harpies really wasn't all too useful, as my opponent's back row doesn't do much. But hey, destroying my opponent's cards is still something. I really wanted to push for a win this turn, so I went on the offensive. I don't think so. I activate Branded Retribution! This negates Cartesia's effect and destroys her. My thought now was, how can I get past that chunky 4500 attack Albazoa? In Dogmatika, we have a cool card called White Relic of Dogmatika, which lets us beat over almost any monster because she lets us apply the attack of any monster in the field to another monster. Come on out! White Relic of Dogmatika! Boost Maximus to 6000 attack! Now that I have a ritual monster on my field, I might as well rip a card out of my opponent's extra deck to make it harder for my opponent to make a comeback. Go Maximus! Destroy my opponent's Albazoa! I actually forgot that getting the Warrior Dragon returns back to my hand at the end of the battle phase, so I crashed him into my opponent's monster trying to avoid taking too much damage next turn. I'm sorry again. At this point, I'm feeling like I have the upper edge now that I have a few interruptions for my opponent. I don't think so. Go Dogmatika Punishment! Oh, 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 oh. Go Ash Blossom! I could sense that my opponent was getting desperate. They couldn't get past my Maximus and then summon SP Little Knight, but couldn't banish anything since they didn't use the extra deck monster as material. It's my turn! I draw! It's time to end this duel! You aren't getting rid of my Maximus so easily! Go Fleur-de-Lis! Negate Little Knight! Woohoo! I won! Whew, competing in the World Championship qualifiers is pretty tough. Dogmatika may not be super meta, but hey, the deck sure is fun and can actually stand up in a good number of matchups. I haven't reached level 20 just yet for this WCQ, but I'll share the rest of the duels in the next video. Anyways, here's my deck list. Bye bye!